Part 47. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 462. Just now, Lin Feng's sarcastic words made Jiao Xiaojiao very angry. At this moment, her hand grabbing Lin Feng's neck didn't use much strength, but the pair of towering chests were rubbing against Lin Feng's body. The rhythmic and powerful friction made Lin Feng's body very comfortable, but he still pushed Jiao Xiaojiao away. Oh ah! Jiao Xiaojiao screamed, and her graceful and soft body almost rolled to the ground. Lin Feng then lit a cigarette and sneered, "If you continue to make fun of you, be careful I slap you twice. You taunted me first, then ate my tofu, and now you want to slap me. Are you going too far? If you hadn't jumped into my arms, I wouldn't be able to eat your tofu, and I didn't even want to eat your tofu, but you just put it in my mouth, so I can only eat 2 simple bites," Lin Feng said. "How does my tofu taste?" "Seriously, your tofu tastes average," Lin Feng said. "It was fine just now. But now Jiao Xiaojiao's self-esteem has even been hurt. Lin Feng actually said that her tofu tastes average, and she thinks her tofu is the most delicious in the world. Oh shit." Jiao Xiaojiao scolded again in her heart, worried that Lin Feng would continue to repair her, so she did not scold. At this time, Jiao Xiaojiao wanted to prove that her tofu is very delicious. For any man, eating her tofu is a great enjoyment. "I don't believe you, an internet writer, is so individual. You are fascinated by seeing me not fascinated." Jiao Xiaojiao stood up. When Lin Feng was wondering what this beautiful courtesan was going to do, Jiao Xiaojiao's graceful and soft body twisted in front of him. "Nice dance. Although there is a big gap compared with the dancing elf Dainan, it is already wonderful enough. No matter if Jiao Xiaojiao shows such a dance in any disco or bar, she will become the focus. There will be many men whistling or shouting at her. Naturally, there are many people who want to ask her out to open a room." Since the beautiful courtesan wanted to dance so much, Lin Feng could only admire her dancing. What surprised Lin Feng quickly happened. Jiao Xiaojiao, who was dancing, actually took off her upper body, revealing a large expanse of snow-white and delicate skin, as well as her rose-red lace bust. At this time, her water snake waist twisted more happily, and a charming and sultry chuckle appeared at the corner of her mouth. Striptease. Lin Feng hoped that Jiao Xiaojiao would take off her trousers. In this way, you can see her slender and plump legs and the outline of her panties. But Lin Feng didn't want Jiao Xiaojiao to take off her trousers. He didn't plan to do anything to Jiao Xiaojiao. It would not be a good thing if the stimulation was too natural. Whatever she wants. If she really wanted to take off her pants, Lin Feng didn't plan to stop her. But Jiao Xiaojiao didn't take off her pants, she just took off her chest photo. Let Lin Feng see her tall and full breasts. They are big and cute. Very delicate and elastic. Just like that, he trembled in front of Lin Feng. Seduce. Waves. I rely on, can't rely on. Lin Feng was instantly impulsive, but instantly calmed down. His face was gloomy, his head turned to one side. Jiao Xiaojiao was very unconvinced and said in her heart, "If I take off my pants, you will definitely face me, maybe you will greedily rush over and grab my pants, I can't fall in love with you." After several deliberation, Jiao Xiaojiao finally did not have enough courage to take off her trousers in front of Lin Feng. Not even wanting him to see her towering chest, Jiao Xiaojiao quickly put on a chest photo and dressed again. Jiao Xiaojiao sat next to Lin Feng, smiled a moment later, "Let me give you a review, how does my tofu taste like?" "Good. You seem to have a higher opinion of my tofu than just now. What would you do if I took off my pants just now?" "I will throw your pants downstairs, and when morning comes, many people will see your pants and ask, 'Whose pants are these? Look at this style, it should be a woman's, this woman's, he's not low, he's really a hoof, and he was so sloppy that he actually threw his pants down from the upstairs, Lin Feng said. Zhao Sushan, the former president of the Wushu Association of Beijing Normal University, often said that Jiao Xiaojiao was a hoof, but he just loved this hoof. At this time, Lin Feng also said that she was a hoof, which made her very unbearable. Is she really a hoof? Jiao Xiaojiao really wanted to explain to Lin Feng and make Lin Feng believe that she was not a hoof. Everything she did in the past had a bottom line, and she did it for her own future. But she just waved in front of Lin Feng, and she took off her clothes and chest photos while dancing, so she couldn't explain to Lin Feng. In fact, she was not a waver. I'm sleepy. Then you will dormitory, Lin Feng said. You are so cruel. What time is it? You let me go back to the dormitory. It's a little late. Then sleep in my mansion, and ask, do you prefer to wear a condom or come directly when you are with a man? Lin Feng said. Jiao Xiaojiao's heart thumped. It seemed that she had stimulated Lin Feng too much just now, and Lin Feng had already decided to fall in love with her. Are you going to make me your girlfriend? I have a girlfriend, and I'm your school belle, Lin Fengzin said. Although you have the reputation of the courtesan of Beijing Normal University, you are not the school's belle. Since you don't plan to make me your girlfriend, don't do that kind of thing to me lightly, or I'll stick with you, and Zhao Sushan will turn against you. I was just joking. Do you think I really want to fall in love with you? Lin Feng was indeed joking, but he had to convince Jiao Xiaojiao, so he paused for a moment and said, if I really want to fall in love with you, just pushed you onto the sofa. Maybe. Jiao Xiaojiao also felt that Lin Feng didn't really want to date her. Get me a room from your mansion. No problem. Lin Feng could only open a room for Jiao Xiaojiao, and Jiao Xiaojiao quickly took off her pants and lay down on the soft bed. Lin Feng also lay down in his bedroom. After one night, when Lin Feng went to the living room and saw that Jiao Xiaojiao was watching TV, she seemed a little obsessed. She is obsessed with this big LCD TV, not a TV show. Seeing Lin Feng coming over, Jiao Xiaojiao said, I slept well last night. I didn't ask you. You're really annoying. Even if you didn't ask me, I'll tell you, I just slept well, Jiao Xiaojiao said. Lin Feng lit a cigarette and blew on Jiao Xiaojiao's pretty face. If you are a smart woman, don't tell Zhao Sushan that you slept in my mansion all night. You think I'm stupid? What I'm afraid of is that you're stupid. Since you said you're not stupid, then I'm more relieved, Lin Feng said. After having breakfast together, Lin Feng took a taxi after more than half an hour after Jiao Xiaojiao's taxi left. The Fengnan fashion store had already started business, when Lin Feng came in. Dainan just sold a bag. Obviously in a good mood. Where did your kid go last night? My mansion. Who are you with? One person. At this time, Lin Feng told a white lie without any pressure. Dainan did not doubt that Lin Feng slept alone in the mansion last night. Sitting on the edge of the cashier together, Lin Feng put his hand on Dainan's plump thigh, stroking that soft and delicate piece. About a minute later, Dainan pushed Lin Feng's hand away. You're too much, kid. If I don't try harder, you just keep touching. It's fun to touch, so I keep touching it. I won't get tired of touching your legs for a few hours, Lin Feng said. But I hate you touching me. You should touch green bamboo more. Her skin is more tender than mine, Dainan said. But in Lin Feng's heart, Dainan's skin and Tian Qingzu's skin are as delicate and smooth to touch. Returning to the master bedroom from the store, Lin Feng browsed the web for more than an hour, then lay down on the bed and read a book on his mobile phone. After reading the book for almost an hour, and staring at it for almost an hour, it was time for lunch. Lin Feng planned to have lunch with Dainan, so he took the food to Fengnan fashion store. Seeing that his girlfriend Tian Qingzu was also there, Lin Feng was a little embarrassed, because he did not bring food to Tian Qingzu. Qingzu, you are also here. Yeah, I'm waiting for you to bring some food to eat, Tian Qingzu said. I. Lin Feng is very embarrassed. Tian Qingzu quickly realized something. It seems that you are not prepared for my sudden attack. Hurry up and buy another meal and come back. It is good. Lin Feng set off soon, and when he came back, he brought another serving of stir-fried pork, stir-fried vegetables, rice, and juice. When we were having dinner together, we talked about the fight between Lin Feng and Zhao Sushan at Zhao's fighting center at 9 o'clock tonight. Dainan is very confident in Lin Feng. But Zhao Sushan is a very prominent figure in Beijing Normal University. Almost everyone in the school believes that Zhao Sushan is the best player in the whole school. Tian Qingzu was very worried that Lin Feng was not Zhao Sushan's opponent. Brother Feng, are you confident? Tie him up, no problem. But he is the best at Beijing Normal University, Tian Qingzu said. That's because your school is not very good at playing. Lin Feng showed a very relaxed smile. The topic changed quickly. Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu chatted about a light-hearted topic. At this moment, Jiao Xiaojiao suddenly came. Lin Feng was taken aback, because he had a certain amount of ambiguity with Jiao Xiaojiao just last night. Although Jiao Xiaojiao made waves at him, it was too ambiguous. I hope Jiao Xiaojiao will not talk nonsense to Tian Qingzu. Jiao Xiaojiao seemed as if nothing had happened last night, as if she hadn't skipped a striptease for Lin Feng so that Lin Feng could see her towering breasts. She walked briskly around the shelves for a while, bought something, spent more than 30 yuan and left. Dainan was very happy. Yes, even the courtesans from Beijing Normal University like to shop here. It's a good phenomenon, Lin Feng said. Maybe Jiao Xiaojiao came here to shop because she likes your books, Dainan said. It's possible, Lin Feng thought. Fortunately you didn't think of going anywhere else. To be continued. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 463. 7:30 in the evening. Zhao Sushan's SUV parked outside Fennan Fashion Store, and he and Jiao Xiaojiao got out of the car together. Zhao Sushan wanted to take Jiao Xiaojiao's hand into the Fennan Fashion Store, thinking that it was a matter of face, but Jiao Xiaojiao refused to let him. Zhao Sushan was very depressed. He couldn't help but say in his heart, "You bastard, I'll hold your hand, but you won't get pregnant. What's wrong with letting me pull it?" There are Lin Feng, Dainan, and Tian Qingzu in the shop. Lin Feng smiled and said, "Su Shen, you are here." Jiao Xiaojiao wanted to say, "I'm here too, why didn't you say hello to me?" Zhao Sushan smiled and said, "There's still an hour and a half, and it's time for the two of us to compete at first sight." "Yeah, another hour and a half." Lin Fengzin said, "In fact, you don't need to beat me to be sure. Although you have 3 masters and others have pointed you, you will definitely not be my opponent. It is estimated that you can't even beat Li Xingguo of Jinwu Center." At this time, the person who most wanted to see Lin Feng and Zhao Sushan fighting was naturally Jiao Xiaojiao. Jiao Xiaojiao very much hopes that Zhao Sushan can defeat Lin Feng, so that she will see Zhao Sushan's strength again, and maybe she will be more determined to break up with her boyfriend who grows greenhouse vegetables in her hometown, and throw herself into Zhao Sushan's arms. After chatting for a while, the Fennan Fashion Store closed ahead of schedule. Dainan and Tian Qingzu went out with Lin Feng and sat in Zhao Sushan's off-road vehicle. Jiao Xiaojiao sat next to Zhao Sushan, Lin Feng and the beautiful Zhu Dainan sat in the back row. He was in the middle, and 2 beauties surrounded him. If Lin Feng put his hands on Dainan and Tian Qingzu's thighs and stroked them at this time, it would be a shocking thing. But he can't do that. Maybe Tian Qingzu has nothing to say, but Dainan will definitely get angry, which will make him very embarrassed. Zhao's fight center has arrived. The area is comparable to that of the Jinwu Center, and the level of luxury is also comparable. As for the strength of the 2 martial arts centers, they are actually comparable. The difference is that Zhao Sushan's father, Zhao Xiangdong, has more people in the officialdom, while Li Xingguo's father, Lijiang, has a few people. There are more people on the rivers and lakes. Of course. People on the rivers and lakes may not necessarily be black. In a very luxurious room, Lin Feng met Zhao Sushan's three masters, namely his father Zhao Xiangdong, karate master Sun Ping, and martial arts master Meng Sengong. When Zhao Sushan introduced it, he gave his masters the word master. Lin Feng thought. Maybe Zhao Sushan's masters are really high. Maybe not very high. Among them, the most noteworthy is the veteran Meng Sengong. He is a fierce man who has been discharged from the Special Forces of China. Before joining the army, he practiced tiger boxing for several years. After enlisting in the army, he practiced martial arts in the army for several years, and his combat effectiveness is very powerful. All three of Zhao Sushan's masters believed that his apprentice Zhao Sushan had no problem in cleaning up Lin Feng, because Lin Feng didn't look like a kung fu master, and his muscles didn't look that developed. In fact, Lin Feng's muscles are very developed, but his muscles are not very abrupt. Zhao Sushan's father, Zhao Xiangdong, was the first to ask a question. He smiled and said, "Lin Feng, which kung fu are you practicing?" "Ordinary kung fu." "If it's just ordinary kung fu, I think you should stop fighting with my son, otherwise you will be easily injured." Zhao Xiangdong looked at Zhao Sushan. "Didn't you tell me? Lin Feng is your friend, don't just let him. Let's compete with you, you might as well take him to the gym, or go swimming." Zhao's fighting center has a gorgeous gym and swimming pool, but Zhao Sushan smiled and said, "Dad, Lin Feng is really a master. He said that he practiced ordinary kung fu. That's humility. Is it modesty?" Zhao Xiangdong didn't think Lin Feng was being modest. Karate master Sun Ping and fighting master Meng Sengong didn't think Lin Feng was pretending. The battle was ahead, and Lin Feng couldn't see the sharp Xiao on his body. How powerful could he be? It's time for a fight. The group arrived at a very large room with a ring and an auditorium. Very atmospheric and grand. Lin Feng and Zhao Sushan entered the ring, and everyone else sat in the auditorium. Zhao Sushan's three masters sat next to each other, and they said something from time to time, thinking that Lin Feng was going to be beaten. Zhao Xiangdong even thought that it was because his precious son, Zhao Sushan, didn't like Lin Feng, so he called him over to repair him in the ring. Dainan and Jiao Xiaojiao sat on both sides of Tian Qingzu. Since Tian Qingzu knew Jiao Xiaojiao, this was the first time Jiao Xiaojiao sat closest to her. One is the beautiful school girl and the other is the school social girl. The two of them are sitting next to each other, which can be said to be very fragrant. Zhao Sushan took off the clothes on his upper body, revealing very toned muscles. His muscles did look more developed than Lin Feng's, but his explosiveness was hard to say. Zhao Sushan shouted loudly, and started to punch Lin Feng's cheek. Lin Feng knew very well that Zhao Sushan's punch was just a pretense, and the real purpose was to get out. Sure enough, the moment Lin Feng dodged, Zhao Sushan took a step forward, raised his knees and slammed into Lin Feng's lower abdomen, followed by a ruthless move in Muay Thai. But nothing, his series of sharp attacks were all resolved by Lin Feng, but it was Lin Feng's whip leg that struck like thunder and lightning, but Zhao Sushan could not avoid it, and he actually let Lin Feng fly out. Zhao Sushan screamed and fell to the ring, which surprised his three masters. Could it be that Lin Feng is really a master? At least Lin Feng's speed is very fast. Meng Sengong, who retired from the special forces, frowned slightly and began to look at Lin Feng very seriously. Zhao Sushan stood up again, and he slowly leaned towards Lin Feng, who had already suffered a lot of shock. Lin Feng's fist slammed over, and the moment Zhao Sushan blocked, Lin Feng punched out a few more punches, two of which hit Zhao Sushan's face, but he only used a 3-point force, otherwise Zhao Sushan's face was already it's horrible to watch, and it's very possible for the nose bridge to break and the teeth to splash. Zhao Sushan had already stunned Lin Feng. Don't say it's a counterattack, I can't stand still. Lin Feng kicked Zhao Sushan's stomach again, and still used 3-point force. Zhao Sushan's body rose into the air and fell onto the ring. The injury is not serious. Zhao Sushan stood up again. He was embarrassed to fight against Lin Feng, because Lin Feng had left him enough affection. I'm not your opponent. Zhao Sushan, with blood and grey face dripping from the corners of his mouth, conceded defeat. At the same time, his three masters were relieved. If they continued to fight, there is only one result. That is, Zhao Sushan will be seriously injured. Tian Qingzu and Dainan were of course very happy, but the two of them did not show their happiness too much. After all, Zhao Sushan's three masters were sitting not far away. Xiao Xiaojiao was very depressed and said in her heart, "Zhao Sushan, you bastard! You are also the president of the Wushu Association of Beijing Normal University, how come you can't even beat Lin Feng?" The old lady originally wanted to find more motivation to break up with her current boyfriend, but unfortunately, your disgraced appearance even made me doubt your abilities. At this time, Xiao Xiaojiao even thought that if Zhao Sushan was allowed to grow vegetables in a greenhouse, I am afraid that all the vegetables he planted would die, and the bottom line would be lost. But she quickly thought that Zhao Sushan was a local householder in Beijing, so rich and powerful, he didn't need to grow greenhouse vegetables at all. We went to the luxurious room together. Zhao Sushan's three masters all spoke highly of Lin Feng's kung fu, but in fact, none of the three of them could see the true face of Lin Feng's kung fu. It's not that simple. In fact, it's not easy. Lin Feng's performance just now shocked Zhao Sushan's three masters to the point where they are tender and tender. If the dragon and snake legs come out, then Zhao Sushan's three masters will probably smoke. Zhao Xiangdong said, "Lin Feng, your kung fu is not weak, but you are even higher than Su Sheng. It can be seen that your master is also a master." "Who is your master?" "My father Lin Tishan." "Your father's name is very bloody, what kind of kung fu does he practice?" Zhao Xiangdong asked. "Strong boxing and leg skills." Lin Feng did not say that it was a dragon and snake leg for the time being, but he would say it later when it was very necessary. After drinking tea and chatting together, more than an hour passed before I knew it, and Lin Feng left with Dainan and Tian Qingzu. Zhao Sushan's three masters all wanted to try Lin Feng's kung fu in person, but this evening Lin Feng had just fought with Zhao Sushan and defeated Zhao Sushan, and the three of them were not embarrassed to speak. Lin Feng took the beautiful bamboo to his master bedroom, and Dainan returned to her partition room. Dainan predicted that tonight must be the time for Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu to have sex, and hoped that Tian Qingzu's first time would not be too painful. However, Lin Feng's thing is too proud. It is estimated that Tian Qingzu will be very painful. It is also a wonderful feeling to enjoy the feeling of being possessed by a loved one in the pain. It is already 11 o'clock in the evening. Because there is a beautiful bamboo by his side, Lin Feng's body is very tall and straight. He smiled and said, "Come on. You are so annoying. You will die after a while. It will be given to you when it should be given to you. But I'm impulsive. I'll have a way to release you later," the beautiful bamboo said shyly. Lin Feng began to think, in this intoxicated night, whether beauty bamboo would let him release it with his hands or his mouth, or would use both hands and mouth, but Lin Feng wanted to occupy the moist and soft part of beauty bamboo. Lin Feng wrote a 3,000-word chapter. When he was typing, Tian Qingzu sat beside him and watched carefully. A bright smile appeared on the corner of his mouth from time to time. Obviously he was very satisfied with the plot he wrote. Lying on the bed together, Lin Feng teased the towering chest of beauty bamboo. Beauty bamboo not only used her hand but also her mouth. Although she was not very skilled, it gave Lin Feng a wonderful sense of sex. What makes Lin Feng even more happy is that after the busy work, the beautiful bamboo snuggled into his arms and said, "Brother Feng, I will give it to you soon, don't worry." To be continued. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Sukifeng. Chapter 464. A few days have passed, and while Linfeng is typing, he also spends a lot of time with Beauty Bamboo. It is a gift from God to have such a superb girlfriend as Beauty Bamboo, so he will never fail this pure and beautiful girl. Linfeng had a conversation with his parents. On the phone, his parents asked how far he and the girl named Tian Qingze had progressed. Linfeng replied playfully that he was in a sweet relationship. Lin Tishan and Lu Shukan both felt that the love between men and women is a very ethereal thing, and it is a real thing to marry a girl into the family, but neither of them was ashamed to ask if Linfeng had already had that kind of thing with Tian Qingze. This afternoon, Linfeng contacted Ai Wen, the beauty editor-in-chief, and wanted to have dinner with Ai Wen and then go to the movies. The recently released 3D movie was very good, and many people were contributing to the box office, so he also planned to contribute a little. But Ai Wen said something was wrong and refused. Linfeng faintly felt that Ai Wen refused on purpose, perhaps to distance himself from his relationship and slowly return to a simple editor-author relationship. It is a very happy thing for a man to have a beautiful and talented friend like Ai Wen in his life, so Linfeng is worried that he and Ai Wen can't even be friends in the end, and it will just become that simple job. Relation. Linfeng and Dainan had dinner together at Fengnan Fashion Store. He returned to the master bedroom and started coding after a while. In the afternoon, he had already coded 8,000 words. This evening, he only needed to code 4,000 words to get to 1.2. After 10,000 words, he will have a great sense of accomplishment. In more than an hour, Linfeng wrote 4,000 words, which was enough for 12,000 words. When he was considering whether to write another 3,000-word chapter, the phone rang. It was from Jiao Xiao, a courtesan from Beijing Normal University. Linfeng didn't want to receive a call from Jiao Xiao, because he didn't want to have any ambiguity with Jiao Xiao, not even an ordinary friend. As long as Jiao Xiao didn't cause him trouble, it would be fine. If she doesn't answer, I'm afraid she will call again. Jiao Xiao definitely has the perseverance to blow up his cell phone, unless he adds her number to Do Not Disturb. Never mind. Why don't you pick it up and see what tricks this beautiful courtesan wants to play? Linfeng picked it up and said, Jiao Xiao, what happened to you? Listening to your tone, it's like I used to make trouble for you, and the two of us didn't have much contact before. Now that I like to contact you, you should feel honored. Who do you think you are? Do you think I would be honored to call me just because of your hoof? Linfeng said. Jiao Xiao was stunned. Because she heard Linfeng say she was a hoof. Woohoo! Jiao Xiao actually started to cry. Hearing the cry of the beautiful courtesan, Linfeng felt a little guilty. Maybe he shouldn't say she was a hoof again, because Jiao Xiao didn't care how bad it was. Nothing to do with him. Don't cry, hurry up, what's the matter with calling me? You come to see me? No, Linfeng's answer was very sure. I let people bully me, I'm dying, I'm near your mansion, Jiao Xiao said. Linfeng's head suddenly became big. If you are really bullied, you should ask Zhao Sushan to give you a head start. He really wants to give you a head start. It's just that he has never been able to find a good opportunity. Please, Linfeng, come and see me. If I don't see you this night, maybe I won't have the courage to see the sun tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow will be a yin day, the sun will hide in the clouds, you don't need to spend much courage to face it, Linfeng said. You. Jiao Xiao choked and shouted, and then hung up the phone, but Linfeng's heart was chaotic. She said. Jiao Xiao, what's the matter with you, what do you want to do? Linfeng felt that Jiao Xiao was not bullied and wanted to see him. It is estimated that I want to talk to him about love choices, whether to stay with the boyfriend who grows vegetables in greenhouses, or dump that man and throw him into Zhao Sushan's arms. Lin Feng had already analyzed this issue for Xiao Xiaojiao once before, and he didn't want to make any more comments on it. But what he was worried about was that the depressed Xiao Xiaojiao would find Tian Qingzi to speak ill of him. Xiao Xiaojiao was a very special character, and just talking nonsense could affect his relationship with Tian Qingzi. Lin Feng called Xiao Xiaojiao, and Xiao Xiaojiao picked it up quickly. She just cried without speaking. She cried so sadly, it was as if she was walking down the street with steps, and suddenly a man ran over and grabbed it. She dropped her panties, and then at least 10 people on the street saw her wet softness. What happened to you? When you come to see me, you will naturally know what's wrong with me. In my opinion, you should be a person with a heroic demeanor. Your sister, hero, you think that heroes are so easy to be. People who like to be heroes will pay to varying degrees. Hurry up and say, where are you? I'll find you, Lin Feng said. Just outside the gate of that high-end community, you can see me when you arrive. Xiao Xiaojiao really went to the community where his mansion is located. Could it be that the last time he saw his mansion, it was too exciting for Xiao Xiaojiao? Even the beautiful courtesans of Beijing Normal University were stimulated to look like this, which shows that his mansion is really luxurious. More than an hour later, where Lin Feng took a taxi, he immediately saw Xiao Xiaojiao in a bodysuit. The graceful and exquisite curves were completely outlined. She cried very sadly when she was on the phone, but at this time there was not even a trace of tears on her face. Is it possible to cry like a thunder without rain? Lin Feng felt that such a cry could only be made when the tears really flowed out. Xiao Xiaojiao showed a charming smile. Lin Feng's body reacted quite a bit, but his heart was still very depressed. What plane are you doing? Fighter. Who do you want to bomb? Lin Feng said. Bombed you all together. Who is included? Lin Feng said. I won't tell you. Xiao Xiaojiao was very active, and had already walked into the gate of the high-end community. Lin Fengzin said, that is my mansion, not your mansion, look at your steps now. You have the style of a hostess. I think you, a beautiful courtesan, is not only a hoof but also shameless. Lin Feng had no choice but to walk in. He quickened his pace and quickly walked to Xiao Xiaojiao's side. He sniffed and immediately felt that the scent of this perfume was very familiar. And it's a very expensive perfume. You sprayed Tiffany. Okay, it seems that you are very familiar with the taste of Tiffany I. Has your girlfriend Tian Qingzi sprayed Tiffany I before? She doesn't like to use perfume, unlike you, for fear that people won't be able to smell the aroma of your body, Lin Feng said. Perfume is a powerful communication tool for a woman. A woman can be unbeautiful. She can be average, but her body can't help but exude fragrance, Xiao Xiaojiao said. Even if she is a woman with a very average posture, as long as the body emits a good smell, and the impression on men will be improved a lot. It seems to make some sense. As a man, Lin Feng really likes the fragrant body of a woman. From time to time, luxury cars drove past the two of them, and Xiao Xiaojiao's eyes seemed flat, but they were hopeful. She really hopes that she can own a luxury car, although she doesn't have one now, but she doesn't like cars under 1 million yuan. Downstairs. Lin Feng stopped, lit a cigarette and started smoking. Xiao Xiaojiao stood opposite him, holding her chest with her arms, her slender legs slightly bent. With a blurred smile on the corners of his mouth. Damn it! Do you, woman, have to sit down at my mansion for a while? Lin Feng said so in his heart, and he immediately realized that Xiao Xiaojiao's smile was even more blurred than before. There are benches over there, let's sit down and talk. The smell of autumn is getting stronger and stronger, and the cool breeze will be very comfortable. I'm definitely not here to chat with you on a bench in the open air, I want to sit on the soft sofa of your mansion, Xiao Xiaojiao said. Lin Feng was a little annoyed, and once again wanted to slap Xiao Xiaojiao twice, but for whatever reason, it was cruel to slap him on Jiao's face on the premise of no deep hatred. Lin Feng took Jiao to his mansion. Walking to the edge of the sofa, Jiao deliberately twisted her buttocks a few times before sitting on the soft velvet sofa. Lin Feng also sat down, lit a cigarette and smoked, and made a cold voice, "I really didn't expect the courtesan of Beijing Normal University to be such a difficult woman. Don't be afraid. I won't post you, you already have beautiful bamboo. Even if I want to find a strong man to post it, I will post it to Zhao Sushan, not to you, although Zhao Sushan's skills are far inferior to yours. Yes, Zhao Sushan has a local household registration in Beijing. If you have money and power, you can stick to him," Lin Feng said. "If you want to drink your good tea, make me some tea. Then you wait." Lin Fengzin said, "I feel like peeing a little bit. I don't know if you want to taste the taste of the spring water brewed by my body." He really wanted to pee a little. After boiling water and making tea, he went to the bathroom. Jiao's face became blurred. She took out a small plastic bag from her satchel, and sprinkled the powder inside into Lin Feng's teacup. Lin Feng came over. He obviously would not have thought that Jiao had already tampered with his tea, and at this time Jiao was drinking tea while watching TV, which was very natural and atmospheric. Lin Feng sat next to Jiao and deliberately kept a distance of about half a meter, for fear that under the stimulation of Jiao's intoxicating aroma, he would be confused. "What do you want to talk about? You can start. You are a very special man. If we both met on campus as students, maybe I would fall in love with you." "I guess I won't fall in love with you," Lin Feng said. Jiao's pink fist immediately beat Lin Feng's body, and after a few hits, she regretted it, for fear that her pink fist would affect Lin Feng's progress in drinking tea. To be continued. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 465. Lin Feng finally grabbed the teacup and took a sip of tea, and quickly took 2 sips in a row. Jiao's heart was very excited, because Lin Feng drank 3 sips of tea and it was already okay. "I believe that the strong aphrodisiac she put into the tea will release its powerful power within a minute." At that time, even if the Kung Fu master Lin Feng is a very patient person, the only thing he wants to do in his mind is to have with a woman. Even if the sow appears in front of him, he may have the charm of 11 she. What's more, she's not a sow, she's a big beauty. The power of the aphrodisiac burst out very quickly. Lin Feng felt that there was an air current in his body pushing it violently, and the feeling on the golden worm was very obvious. At this moment, in Lin Feng's eyes, Jiao was extremely beautiful, and she would feel extremely comfortable as long as she took off her and broke into her body. "I miss her so much. Missed her very much. Missed her so much." As for the consequences of falling on her, Lin Feng almost didn't think about it. Lin Feng pulled Jiao into his arms very hard. Jiao let out a coquettish panting sound, but said, "What do you want to do, kid?" When Lin Feng took off her tights, took off her chest photo, and kneaded hard against her towering chest, she even screamed in pain, but her heart was very happy. Lin Feng took off Jiao's trousers, and her trousers, stirring up her moist softness. Jiao's cry was very loud, and when Lin Feng broke in, she suddenly screamed. Lin Feng's strength is obviously not comparable to her boyfriend who grows vegetables in greenhouses. Lin Feng moved violently. Beauty courtesans leaning forward and back together. After a long time of excitement, Jiao was so comfortable that she felt so comfortable that she died. After subsidence, Jiao shouted in her heart, "It's really fun." She didn't understand a little, whether it was the strong aphrodisiac that improved Lin Feng's bed skills a lot or said. Lin Feng's ability in this regard is already outstanding enough to make women to the extreme. Lin Feng calmed down a lot. He knew exactly what happened just now. He used a very violent rhythm to get on Jiao for more than an hour. That is to say, he gave the beautiful courtesans of Beijing Normal University. The reason? It wasn't that he was too impulsive, but Jiao Xiaojiao gave him medicine. It was very comfortable just now. Angry at the moment, Lin Feng pinched Jiao Xiaojiao's neck hard. She almost lifted her graceful and soft body. You are so despicable. I'm very despicable. I've drugged you. If I'm going to die in your mansion tonight, I hope I'm not strangled by you, but by you, Jiao Xiaojiao said. Wave hoof. Vile woman. Damn to perverted woman. Vicious words came into Lin Feng's mind, but he was unlikely to kill Jiao Xiaojiao. Otherwise he won't get better. If he really kills Jiao Xiaojiao in this mansion, I am afraid that even if Miss Ye can't save him with all her social connections, he will be imprisoned for 10 years at least. I rely on. I must be calm. What did I think of just now? Lin Feng lit a cigarette, and under the stimulation of nicotine, his angry heart gradually calmed down. He simply didn't think about the fact that Jiao Xiaojiao drugged him. What he thought at this moment was. He got on Jiao Xiaojiao, he was very comfortable. At this time, Jiao Xiaojiao was still undressed, her towering chest and the moist softness were exposed in front of Lin Feng. Lin Feng hugged her, kissed her chest, and teased her wetness. Jiao Xiaojiao's breathing quickly became hurried again. Lin Feng carried Jiao Xiaojiao to the upstairs bedroom and broke into her body again. At this time, Lin Feng was completely awake. In this state, doing that action violently against Jiao Xiaojiao's body, the taste is very different. Jiao Xiaojiao is not a first daughter, she probably had with her boyfriend who grows vegetables in a greenhouse many times before, but her body is very good. When the morning came, Lin Feng and Jiao Xiaojiao opened their eyes 3 times, until 8 o'clock in the morning, the curtain call of passion. Jiao Xiaojiao was dripping with sweat. The big, fluffy bed was wet. Lin Feng lit a cigarette and took 2 puffs of cigarettes with a bit of melancholy. Even if I have been with you 3 times, it is unlikely that I will be responsible for you. At most, we are ordinary friends. I've said it all. I won't post you, you just have to take 100 hearts, and I've made a great decision. What decision? Break up with my boyfriend and be Zhao Sushan's girlfriend, Jiao Xiaojiao said. You mustn't tell me. It was a night of passion between the 2 of us that made you make this decision. It was. Damn it, in this way, it's as if I separated you and your boyfriend, Lin Feng said. If I want to break up with him, I have to go through a betrayal. I betrayed him now, so I can break up with him. Why don't you choose that with Zhao Sushan? I'll be with him and be his girlfriend. If I don't let him be with him, he won't go crazy. I'm afraid he will always be with me at this time. Jiao Xiaojiao's smile is amorous and it doesn't matter. Indulge first and then break up. Maybe what she thought was that she betrayed him anyway, so it's better to break up. Morning. Jiao Xiaojiao broke up with her boyfriend over the phone. After chatting for more than an hour, the man who planted vegetables in a greenhouse to earn money just to make Jiao Xiaojiao live a good life cried for a long time. Jiao Xiaojiao used a gentle voice to persuade him not to cry, but she was very determined to break up. An hour after breaking up with her boyfriend, Jiao Xiaojiao became Zhao Sushan's girlfriend. She got flowers, a diamond ring, a kiss, and something hard. Zhao Sushan is also considered a capable person, but he did not feel that Jiao Xiaojiao had a passionate night with Lin Feng before turning the clouds over with him. In Zhao Sushan's heart, Jiao Xiaojiao is a very high-quality woman, and he will never say that Jiao Xiaojiao is a hoof in the future. Jiao Xiaojiao also said. She will also be the vice president of the student union in the future, but she will no longer be a socialite. To capture Zhao Sushan is to capture happiness, that's what Jiao Xiaojiao thinks. Noon. When Lin Feng and Dainan had lunch together, Dainan asked him. Slept in your mansion again last night? Lin Feng said, yes, My mansion is still very comfortable. Dinan said, you might as well move to a mansion and return the rented master bedroom. Lin Feng's answer was one word, no. Dinan was very moved and helpless. She knew that Lin Feng couldn't bear her, but in fact, she also couldn't bear Lin Feng. If Lin Feng really moved out of the rental house, she would definitely cry. Lin Feng's cell phone rang, and it turned out to be his college female classmate Wang Wei calling. Wang Wei has not contacted him since he violently asked Wang Wei to be his girlfriend at the mansion a few months ago. Lin Feng was very worried that he would not be able to make friends with Wang Wei in the future, and Wang Wei called him. Maybe it was because she was relieved. Lin Feng smiled and said, Xiao Yi, how have you been recently? Okay, how about you? I have a good time, Lin Feng said. Just do it. It's not dece, I'm really doing well. Oh, yes, I have a girlfriend. Tian Qingzhu, the school flower of Beijing Normal University, what about you, do you have a boyfriend? Lin Feng asked. So far, my boyfriend is just a legend to me, but it's nothing. My heart is much calmer than before. Do you have time in the evening to have dinner and watch a movie together? If you are afraid of your girlfriend's misunderstanding, then forget it. It is good. Lin Feng and Wang Wei made an appointment to meet at 6 o'clock. After eating and then going to the movies, Dinan's face darkened. Your college female classmate Wang Wei, her motives are impure, she must want to do something with you. If Wang Wei and I wanted something to happen, it would have happened long ago. Now that I have green bamboo, it will not happen to Wang Wei. I can only be friends with her, Lin Feng said. Dinan was not so worried after a moment's aftertaste. Lin Feng met Wang Wei. Wang Wei is still so beautiful, very optimistic. Lin Feng stared at Wang Wei's face for a while, and said with a smile, I thought you would ignore me in the future. I've been friends for many years, and this test can still stand. Tian Qingzhu, the school flower of Beijing Normal University, is your third girlfriend. I sincerely hope you two can last longer. It will be a long time, I will marry her, Lin Feng said. Your kid has a tendency to be carried away by love again. It's obviously a little early for you to say that you want to marry her. Wang Wei walked forward with graceful steps, and Lin Feng followed her rhythm. If it was before, when Lin Feng saw Wang Wei, the first thing Lin Feng thought was how to eat her tofu. He could not wait to break into her body and bang hard. But Lin Feng doesn't think about it that way anymore. He just wants to be an ordinary good friend with Wang Wei, so that this rare friendship between men and women can be maintained forever. Lin Feng took Wang Wei to a high-end restaurant, ordered a lot of good dishes, and asked for a bottle of good wine. The meal cost nearly 1,000 yuan. Wang Wei and Lin Feng are now big money, and the monthly fee is more than 30,000 yuan, which is already very good. Lin Feng's in said that after a period of time, after my manuscript fee was raised again, I could earn more than 50,000 yuan a month, but even if I could really earn more than 50,000 yuan a month, it would not be considered a big money. But he no longer has the heart to be too nervous in front of Wang Wei. Lin Feng doesn't know whether he will become a top rich man in the future, but his current state is definitely not related to the word rich. Lin Feng and Wang Wei watched the recently released 3D blockbuster Very Exciting. They both came out of the cinema in a very happy mood. Lin Feng sent Wang Wei home first, and then returned to the master bedroom he rented. It was past 11 o'clock in the evening, and Dinan came back, but Tian Qingzhu did not come back with her. Hearing the knock on the door, Dinan, who was wearing a night dress, opened the door and said with a smile, "Didn't you spend the night with Wang Wei?" Lin Feng walked into Dinan's 10 square meter partition room, flicked her chest, and said with a chuckle, "You clearly knew that I wouldn't spend the night with Wang Wei, so you said that on purpose." It may be because Lin Feng's fingers flicked on his chest just now, Dinan's face turned red. He didn't blame Lin Feng for eating her tofu just now, but angrily said, "I'm not worried. You know, when Kingzu knows after you and Wang Wei went to dinner and watched a movie, although she acted indifferent, her eyes showed melancholy, probably because she was afraid that Wang Wei would take you away. Lin Feng said, you can tell her a few more times when you chat with Kingzu in the future. No one can take me away from her. Wang Wei and I were normal friends before, and we will be in the future. To be continued. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 466. Lin Feng returned to his rented master bedroom. It was almost midnight, but he didn't feel sleepy at all. He turned on the computer, first browsed his page data and messages, and then opened a book and read it. Whether it's reading on a computer or a mobile phone, Lin Feng is very easy to get involved. For him, in addition to appreciating the plots created by others, he is also absorbing nutrients. He doesn't like copying other people's plots, but when he encounters the wonderful plots written by others can inspire him. More than half an hour has passed, and Lin Feng has been reading a book with great concentration. The moment the phone rang, he saw that it was Black Rose, and his brows immediately wrinkled. Although his attitude towards Black Rose is much tougher now, Black Rose was still a woman who gave him a headache. Lin Feng wished that Black Rose could completely disappear from his life, but Black Rose has not disappeared until now. Black Rose must have done a lot of bad things before, but doing bad things may not leave evidence, especially for a smart woman like Black Rose. Destroying all kinds of evidence must be her strength. Lin Feng picked it up and said with a smile, "Sister He, it's so late, why are you calling me? Didn't I tell you to clean up last time I saw you? My skin is itchy again, and I want you to clean up again, so I went to your mansion and was sitting on the soft velvet sofa waiting for you." Black Rose smiled. Lin Feng was about to faint immediately. He thought that the Black Rose was calling him at the Menfei Yang disco, but he did not expect that this woman broke into his mansion without authorization, and it was so extreme that he was furious. Lin Feng couldn't sit still, got up angrily and said, "Black Rose, are you tired of living? Don't think that you are powerful and I won't dare to bleed you, don't think that you are a beauty, I can't bear to make you sad. You quickly get out of my mansion." "I can get out, can I not lock the door for you? As long as you don't come, the door of your mansion will be open." This high-end community is indeed full of rich people, but it is not ruled out that some people like to make cheap money. It is also very worrying to remove part of your high-end furniture and electrical appliances, not to mention, there may be thieves sneaking into this community to attack your mansion. If you can't come here, you can do it. Hey Rose spoke slowly, but Lin Feng's anger kept rising. He even had the heart to kill Hey Rose, and wanted to break her neck and smash her breastbone with one kick. Just face to face. Killing the Black Rose is not so difficult for him, even if there are bodyguards around, it can't stop him from killing the Black Rose. But he really did that. Black Rose was dead, but he himself was finished. Lin Feng had to go. Sitting in the taxi, he tried his best to calm down, but his anger was still surging inside him. This made his body a little hot. If he took his temperature at this time, it might have exceeded 38 degrees. The high-end community has arrived. Lin Feng was not in the mood to appreciate the beautiful scenery in the courtyard of the community, nor was he in the mood to study the row of famous cars. He walked very fast. When he arrived at the door of the unit building, he saw that the access control was intact. He opened the access control and walked in. When he got outside the gate of his mansion, he saw that the security door was closed, and there was no sign of being overturned. Is the Black Rose really sitting in the living room? Lin Feng simply couldn't believe it. But when he opened the security door and walked in, he immediately believed it, because Hey Rose and Bing Chen were sitting in the living room drinking tea and watching TV. The tea must be made from tea leaves in the mansion, and the two of them are watching variety channels. Lin Feng is here, and the two of them are still focused on the large LCD TV screen. It was as if this was their home. Lin Feng was the guest they invited, and they didn't like this guest. Lin Feng walked over angrily, grabbed the remote control and turned off the TV, grabbed the teacup that Black Rose had just put down, and poured most of the cup of tea on Black Rose's face. The tea flowed down Black Rose's face to her neck, the wheat-colored skin was wet, and the hot clothes on her upper body were also wet, very embarrassed, but she was not angry at all, the corner of her mouth showed a relaxed and relieved smile. Bing Chen sitting next to Hey Rose was very angry and wanted to do something to Lin Feng, but Hey Rose warned her that no matter what happened, as long as I didn't let you do it, you would stay calm, so Bing Chen didn't do it. Even if she did make a move, there was only one result, and that was to be subdued by Lin Feng in the shortest possible time. Bing Chen is a master, but compared to Lin Feng, her kung fu is not at the same level at all. Lin Feng sat on the sofa, lit a cigarette and started smoking. Black Rose, you didn't take care of the business in your disco in the middle of the night, what are you doing here with me? Miss you. Don't think about me, I will have nightmares, Lin Feng said. Your black sister, I am a beautiful and hot woman. I don't know how many men I have fascinated before, and how many men have had spring dreams. Why did I come to you and have nightmares? Hey Rose grabbed Lin Feng's hand and gently stroked the back of his hand. At this moment, it was as if Hey Rose was a man, while Lin Feng was a very delicate woman, and Lin Feng was being molested by Hey Rose. Lin Feng's hand swung hard, and Hey Rose's hand moved away. Her eyes were blurred and cloudy, and she didn't know what she was thinking at this time. I didn't joke with you just now. I just missed you and wanted to see you, but I felt that it was too insincere to call you to find me at the disco, so I came to see you. Black Rose, you're so shameless. You knew I wasn't here, yet you let Bing Chen open my door. Why don't you call the police? Black Rose said. It's better to call the police like this. Lin Feng raised his hand and slapped Hey Rose, only to hear a slap, and Hey Rose's nosebleed came out. The nosebleed did not drip onto the sofa, but onto Black Rose's trousers. The complex patterned trousers wrapped around her slender legs, and the blood dripped on it, which was a bit weird. Lin Feng, you. Bing Chen was about to get angry again, but Hey Rose stopped her with her eyes. Black Rose got up and went to the bathroom. After washing my face, the nosebleed stopped, but when I came over, my face was clearly swollen. Bing Chen, you should avoid it first, I want to talk to Lin Feng alone about some things. Bing Chen avoided. Lin Feng and Hey Rose were left in the large living room. Lin Feng could smell the high-grade perfume emanating from the body of the Black Rose. Although Black Rose always makes him anxious, he has to admit that Hey Rose has always been a charming and fascinated woman. There are many people who have been fascinated by her, including young people and middle-aged people. People with money or status. Black Rose. You're abnormal this night, and I actually saw it. Although you let Bing Chen unlock the lock and broke into my mansion without authorization, I know that you didn't mean to come here this time. It's not malicious. Then what do you want to do? Didn't you always hate me? I came here this time to give you a chance to fix me. You slapped me just now, and my nosebleed came out. Are you enjoying it, Black Rose Road? Not at all enjoyable. If you don't give me a knife, as long as you don't stab my heart and neck, you can stab me wherever you want, no matter how badly I am injured, I will not be held accountable. Is Black Rose crazy? He actually wanted Lin Feng to stab her with a knife. Lin Feng sneered and lit a cigarette after a while. He took 2 sips and said, I'm not interested. Then what are you interested in, or I lie on your bed and you me, Hey Rose said. What a fuck. Is this woman really crazy? Lin Feng chuckled and said, I'm afraid your cry is too loud. The louder I cry, the more cool you are, isn't it? Black Rose smiled, blurred eyes discharge. Not necessarily. Then I won't call, no matter how hard you try, I won't call, Black Rose said. Lin Feng was about to collapse. He said coldly, "Black Rose, bring Bing Chen with you, get out of here." Black Rose had just suddenly burst in. When she and Bing Chen came in, Lin Feng didn't even know that if they hadn't notified Lin Feng, even if they moved a few things, Lin Feng still wouldn't know. He was only surprised when he came over again and saw that there was less. Therefore, Lin Feng's expulsion order just now had no effect on her. Black Rose's rounded buttocks were still sitting on the soft velvet sofa, and she had no intention of leaving. Black Rose is very lonely, her eyes are a little dull. Lin Feng already felt that Black Rose was in trouble, and it was a big trouble, but he didn't know exactly what trouble Black Rose was in. Maybe she offended someone big. Maybe the police are already investigating her. Lin Feng was silent for a moment and said, "Black Rose, what happened to you?" "It's nothing, I just fell in love with you. You have such a superb girlfriend as Tian Qingzhu. I'm sure it's no use for me to be your girlfriend, and I don't plan to destroy your relationship with Tian Qingzhu, but, look at me seriously. Look, see if I am qualified to be your lover." Black Rose smiled. Lin Feng was stunned. The beautiful owner of Mengfi Yang Disco, the Black Rose who is quite famous in the underground world, actually wants to be his lover. "Maybe you're serious, maybe you're kidding me, but what I'm telling you is that I won't let you be my lover." "Hong Ying can be your lover, why can't I?" "Who told you that Hong Ying is my lover?" Lin Feng said. "Isn't she?" "She is, but you are not," Lin Feng said. Black Rose laughed. Her laughter was crazy and bitter, and her tears splashed out during the laughter. "It was just a joke just now. In fact, I didn't want to be your lover, but I really want to hug your kid. Can you hug me?" "Cannot. Please, just 10 minutes. "No. 1 minute. Not interested in." Lin Feng got up and walked upstairs, but Hey Rose didn't follow. She knew that Lin Feng was looking for Bing Chen. "Bing Chen is in the study." Lin Feng walked into the study and saw that Bing Chen was reading a novel about a woman's life, written by a well-known writer in China. Lin Feng twisted against Bing Chen's water snake waist. Bing Chen was in a little pain, and the water snake twisted a few times, glanced at his face and continued to read. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my greatest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 467. Lin Feng snatched the book from her hand, closed it, and threw it aside, asking her, "Who told you to unlock my lock?" "Black Rose. She told you to die. Are you going?" "Go. You are really loyal to her. Let me ask you, what happened to Black Rose? Did she offend someone?" "No." "Did the police start investigating her?" "Nor." Bing Chen has been denying it. It is estimated that Black Rose warned her in advance that no matter what Lin Feng asks you, you are not allowed to say it. Lin Feng expected that he couldn't ask anything from Bing Chen. He said, "You should leave my study. If you like this book, you can take it with you." "Thank you." Bing Chen really took the novel away. When she got to the living room, Black Rose quickly stood up and left with her. It came suddenly. It also went suddenly. Lin Feng didn't know what happened to Black Rose. Lin Feng sat on the sofa, lit a cigarette and started smoking. After a while, he dialed Hong Ying's number. At this time, Hong Ying was with Ye, and there were two friends who were playing mahjong and chatting about fun topics. Seeing that it was Lin Feng, Hong Ying immediately picked it up. "Call me so late, what happened?" "I miss you. I want you to come and sleep with me. I wonder if you have time." "It's busy." "What are you busy with?" Lin Feng asked. "I'm with Ye Zi, and two friends I haven't seen for a long time are playing mahjong. Then let's play. Lin Feng hung up the phone and began to think about the question that puzzled him: what happened to Black Rose? Almost an hour has passed. Lin Feng's cell phone rang. Seeing that it was Hong Ying calling, he picked it up. Have you finished playing mahjong? Yeah, asked me to come to you, so I won't accompany them to play mahjong after talking to you. I've already arrived at the community. Come out and open the door for me. Hong Ying also has the ability to open access control and security doors. Her lock-picking skills are even higher than Bingchen's, but she doesn't want to open the door of Lin Feng's mansion by this means. The red shadow appeared. Wearing a rose-red bodysuit, her beautiful face, towering breasts, and slender legs immediately aroused Lin Feng's desire. Sitting on the soft velvet sofa together, Lin Feng took Hong Ying into his arms when he said about the abnormal performance of Black Rose. Hong Ying kept smiling, as if she already knew. Lin Feng said, "You already know what happened to Black Rose. What are you so excited about? Did you and Black Rose already have a subtle feeling in the long struggle? What a joke, I can have a fart relationship with her. Just tell me, what's wrong with her? The police are investigating her. She is related to a kidnapping and extortion case. Black Rose is very rich. In fact, she disdains extortion, but if you want to investigate her, you always have to have a fat head, so she will be out of luck. In other words, she's going to jail," Lin Feng said. "It is estimated that she is doomed this time. As for how many years she will be sentenced, it will depend on her conduct." Hong Ying paused for a moment and said, "Black Rose said that she fell in love with you. Maybe she is showing her true feelings, maybe she didn't know it before. Stop torturing you because she likes you. If not because she likes you, it is estimated that people in her plane can't torture you all the time." Lin Feng felt very uncomfortable. He said, "Black Rose tortured me before, not because she fell in love with me, but because she wanted me to be cannon fodder. Maybe she wanted you to be a cannon fodder at first. But then she fell in love with you. This kind of love is really wonderful. I and you are not like this. At first, I hated you so much that I wanted to cut your teeth off. That thing was thrown into the mountains in the suburbs. But later, I turned out to be your lover and let your thing break into my body." Very hot way of communicating. Lin Feng's body is also very tall and straight. It may be because of his mood. At this time, he has no heart to fight with Hong Ying. He has been pondering that Black Rose will be sentenced for a few years. He asked, but Hong Ying couldn't give a clear answer. Maybe it was a reprieve, maybe it was indefinite, maybe it was 10 years, maybe only a few years. But one thing is certain, Black Rose will not be sentenced to death, because there has never been a murder in her hands, and she has never done a business selling powder. Lin Feng lit a cigarette again and blew out a puff of blue smoke. "Listen to what you said, Black Rose still has a bit of a conscience. Actually, she's not that bad at all. If she was really vicious to the extreme, I'm afraid your kid would have died in her hands half a year ago," Hong Ying said. "So, although Black Rose has been tortured all the time, but yeah and I are not in a hurry, we all know that Black Rose will not kill you." Lin Feng was silent. A few minutes later, Hong Ying laughed and said, "If you really want to see Black Rose again, call her quickly, or you may not see her until dawn." "I'll call her when I'm crazy," Lin Feng said. "Then don't think about her for now. Since I'm here, let's play." Hong Ying's graceful and hot body fell into Lin Feng's arms with great force, and the two of them soon began to shake the clouds and rain on the velvet sofa in the living room. Wild in enthusiasm. Wet in the wild. From the living room to the bedroom, from the sofa to the bed, Lin Feng and Hong Ying fought fiercely for more than an hour. Morning. Lin Feng and Hong Ying had breakfast together, and Hong Ying drove Lin Feng to the street he was familiar with, and then left. It was only after 8 o'clock, so the Fengnan fashion store hadn't opened yet. Lin Feng's footsteps were fast, because he wanted Dainan to know the news of what happened to He Rose. But Lin Feng wasn't very excited. The feeling in his heart was very complicated. Maybe Black Rose, the woman who wanted to treat him as a cannon fodder at first, really fell in love with him later. So in the face of his insults and beatings, Black Rose didn't fight back or fight back. Dainan knew. Dainan was surprised. According to Hong Ying's analysis, I also think that Black Rose really fell in love with you later. Lin Feng, your kid is too arrogant. It turned out that a character like Black Rose could fall in love with you. But that's not a good thing for me. Black Rose is about to go to jail, what are you worried about? If she gets a suspended death sentence or life, she will be a woman in her 50s when she is released, Dainan said. It's sad. It's very sad, if Black Rose is just a simple businessman. Maybe she can live happily for a lifetime, Dainan said. Black Rose was taken away from the Menfei Yang disco by the criminal police who broke into the door at around 3 in the morning. Many people with guns came, including criminal police and armed police, and more than 10 vehicles. The scene was very sensational. That is, one morning, people in certain circles know it. He Rose was arrested, and at the same time a few people around her were arrested, including Bai Man and Bing Chen. Noon. When Lin Feng and Dainan had lunch in the shop, he got news from Hong Ying, and knew that in addition to He Rose, Bai Man and Bing Chen were also arrested. Lin Feng didn't have much affection for Bing Chen. In his eyes, Bing Chen is a woman with a beautiful, cold body and a hot body, and she is also a very hateful woman. Every time Black Rose repairs him, Bing Chen has never said a good word to him. But Lin Feng has a lot of affection for Baiman. He doesn't communicate much with Baiman. There has been ambiguity but nothing like that, but Baiman has helped him several times. He knew that Baiman liked him. If Baiman also goes to jail, I'm afraid he will suffer a lot. He will definitely go to prison to see Baiman. Dainan said, I don't know why, but I remembered the days when I was the lead dancer in Menfei Yang disco before. Those decadent days were unbearable to look back on, but I really remembered it again. The owner of the Menfei Yang disco has been arrested. Even if you remember what happened at that time, it's not surprising, Lin Feng said. Thinking about it now, Black Rose has actually helped me a lot, if it wasn't for Black Rose's blocking time and time again. I'm afraid those who like me would have played me to the death. Are you sure Black Rose helped you? She didn't say it before, and I didn't think about it, but now that I think about it, she helped me at least 3 times. Dainan explained the 3 situations in detail, and Lin Feng, a person with strong logical thinking ability, also thinks it. These 3 times are definitely the Black Roses who helped Dainan get rid of the siege. Black Rose, are you a good person or a bad person? From Lin Feng's mouth, he said very confusing and helpless words. Maybe if He Rose didn't have an accident, he would not think of or hear the good side of He Rose for a long time. Lin Feng's mood was affected. Dainan's mood was also affected. When Tian Qingzhe came over, Lin Feng and Dainan both had bitter faces, but Lin Feng smiled at Tian Qingzhe, and it was so bitter when it was funny. Tian Qingzhe wondered, Brother Feng, Sister Nan, what happened? Nothing happened, Lin Feng said. There must be something wrong, I can see it is someone looking for trouble, who is it? Tian Qingzhe didn't understand whether someone was looking for her trouble again or Dainan's trouble. Dainan said, forget it, it's nothing to tell you. The owner of Menfei Yang disco, He Rose, and Bai Man Bing Chen have all been arrested. Okay, these bad guys finally got their retribution. In Tian Qingzhe's eyes, those people are indeed bad people. Dainan smiled and said, Qingzhe, you are still a little simple. In fact, it is difficult to define between good and bad people. Sister Nan, what do you mean, Black Rose is still a good person? She bullied Brother Feng so much before, what kind of good person is she? Tian Qingzu looked a little excited. Dainan said a lot to Tian Qingzu. Tian Qingzu was surprised that these situations were things she had never thought of before, or that these situations had nothing to do with her life, so she didn't have to think about them. But she was really surprised. She said, "So, Black Rose is a good person and a bad person, sometimes a good person and sometimes a bad person." Dainan laughed. Lin Feng also laughed. He embraced Tian Qingzu's graceful and soft body, and kissed her delicate and innocent face. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my greatest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi Feng. Chapter 468. Night. When Lin Feng was typing in the rented master bedroom, a news popped up on the chat number. It was the news that the beautiful owner of Menfei Yang Disco, Black Rose, was arrested for extortion. This made him a little upset, and he didn't want to open the news. But he still clicked. The content is very simple, and there are not many words more than the title, because the case is still under further trial. Netizens left hundreds of messages in an instant. These people don't know Black Rose, and they haven't even seen it before, but they almost all regard Black Rose as a heinous villain in the underground world, and it is very sharp and enjoyable to spray. If Lin Feng had that authority, he really wanted to delete some of the comments that were extremely vicious and even greeted Hey Rose's descendants, but unfortunately, he didn't have that authority. In order not to make the mood more disturbed, Lin Feng could only close the news page. In the past, when Hey Rose tortured him again and again, he had the heart to kill Hey Rose several times, but since he really got to know that woman and realized that she loved him, his heart was relieved a lot. Maybe Black Rose will continue to torment him if nothing happens. This kind of relief in his heart won't appear so soon. Maybe in a few years, this kind of relief won't appear. Relieved, my heart is also messed up. The idea is still there, and the plot was thought up a few days ago, but he failed to mention the speed of coding. More than 2 hours have passed, but Lin Feng has only typed less than 4,000 words. Although he is not in the state, he plans to type another 2,000 words, otherwise he will feel empty. A message from the little frog. The so-called little frog is Xiao Xiao, a socialite of Beijing Normal University. The woman who fought Lin Feng all night through aphrodisiacs. At this time, the little frog is already Zhao Sushan's girlfriend, and maybe she doesn't plan to be a social flower in the future. She will concentrate on being Zhao Sushan's woman, trying to blossom and bear fruit. In the past, Lin Feng didn't quite understand why Xiao, a beautiful woman with a lot of ideas about the future, would be called Little Frog, but now he understands that the reason why Jiao's online name is Little Frog is that she feels that her current state is like a frog in the bottom of a well. She is eager to get from the bottom of the well to the surface, to appreciate the wider world and have a better future. Jiao is a very talented woman. You can't be a courtesan without talent. But this very talented woman finally pinned her future on a man. The message sent by the little frog is, "Are you there?" Chat for a while. Lin Feng didn't reply, and Jiao didn't know if he was there anyway. He continued to code, without taking Jiao to heart at all. Although he had with that woman. Although that woman made him very cool. Another hour passed. Lin Feng finally closed the document and wanted to take a look at the news page again, but he couldn't open it in the end. He does not know. What will Black Rose face next? If she is really sentenced to death with a reprieve or life, it will be a bit too miserable. Lin Feng now hopes that Black Rose can be sentenced for a few years less. After all, acquittal is impossible. Dainan is back. Tian Qingzu also came along. When Dang Dainan opened the door of the partition room, Tian Qingzu wanted to go in with her, but Dainan asked her to find Lin Feng. Beauty Bamboo stuck out her tongue cutely, and walked to the door of Lin Feng's master bedroom and knocked on the door. Lin Feng opened the door and saw Tian Qingzi dressed in clean and casual clothes. The clothes were not high-end, and they had been washed a lot, so clean was the most appropriate description. People are clean and clothes are clean. The very simple dress reveals a temperament that is difficult to be surpassed. Looking at Tian Qingzi's eyes again, they are very clear and very clear, which is a kind of clarity that can wash away evil, but at this time Lin Feng has a very evil idea in his heart, that is, he will take Tian Qingzi this night. They sat on the sofa together. Because of Black Rose's arrest, Lin Feng was a little confused, but he still lit a cigarette very casually, not wanting Tian Qingzi to see his true emotions, or saying that he didn't want to talk about this kind of thing. The emotions were vented to Tian Qingzi. "Brother Feng, you code, I want to see your code." Today's code has been coded. Lin Feng didn't code many words today, but he really didn't want to code a single word. Even in order to perform in front of the beautiful bamboo, I am afraid that the plot that he has written is not what he wants. Then let's watch the movie. Tian Qingzi did not coquettishly force Lin Feng to code words for her to read. It is a very pleasant thing for any man to have a sweet and empathetic friend, so Lin Feng is very happy. Watch the movie. Lin Feng had no opinion, and soon found a movie about urban life from the computer and watched it with Tian Qingzi. If he is watching a movie with Tian Qingzi, he will basically choose a movie he has seen before, because only after watching it can he know whether this movie is suitable for watching with a beautiful girl. Tian Qingzi has seen very few films, and naturally she has not seen this very fashionable urban film. She knows that Lin Feng has seen it, but after being attracted by the plot, she did not let Lin Feng make spoilers. More than half an hour has passed. Tian Qingzi has been watching the film with great enthusiasm, but Lin Feng is pondering Tian Qingzi's body. "Brother Feng, what are you thinking?" "Nothing, I'm watching a movie with you." "I know what you're thinking. In fact, I really want to give it to you tonight. It's just that I have a period." It seems to be a bit of a coincidence. On this night, the beautiful bamboo really wanted to give it to him, but she came to have her period. Lin Feng believed that Beauty Bamboo was not teasing him, she really wanted to give it to him, but unfortunately, it was her period. Beauty Bamboo doesn't have a period every day, so he will have a chance in the future. "I'm not in a hurry at all, because you are already my girlfriend, your heart is mine, and your body is mine sooner or later." "That's fine." Tian Qingzi leaned against Lin Feng, perhaps because he just told the truth. That's why she dared to lean on Lin Feng. It was almost 1 o'clock in the morning after watching this film, and Lin Feng picked up Tian Qingzi and rolled onto the big soft bed. Although Tian Qingzi is on her period, there is no problem with kissing and stroking her breasts. Lin Feng first kissed the lips of the beautiful bamboo very soothingly, and soon began to kiss passionately. The beautiful bamboo is not very skilled in kissing until now, but as long as she is entangled with her fragrant tongue, Lin Feng will be extremely happy and will ask for it as much as he wants. During the hot kiss, Lin Feng's hand was constantly stroking Tian Qingzi's towering chest, soft and delicate, so that he could never touch it enough. More than an hour later, Tian Qingzi fell asleep. Snuggling in Lin Feng's arms, she had a light smile on the corner of her mouth. At this moment, her state is very sweet, and Lin Feng wants the beautiful bamboo to be sweet all night, so he doesn't plan to disturb her sleep with sudden movements. Enjoyed the sleeping phase of the beautiful bamboo for more than half an hour. Lin Feng also fell asleep. It was not yet 7 in the morning. Beauty Bamboo woke up, but Lin Feng hadn't woken up yet, and he had never had the habit of snoring since he was a child. So his sleep is always so quiet. Beauty Bamboo began to appreciate Lin Feng's sleeping image, and also asked in her heart, "Brother Feng, are you the man who can entrust me with my life?" When Lin Feng had breakfast with Tian Qingzi and Dainan, he heard that many people were talking about the news of the arrest of the beautiful boss of Menfei Yang Disco, as if they knew a lot of inside information. In fact, These people basically did not go to Menfei Yang disco after consumption. No one has seen the true appearance of Black Rose. Lin Feng was very unhappy, but he would not go over to argue with anyone, because it was very meaningless. Lin Feng and Dinan went to Fengnan fashion store together, and Tian Qingzu walked into the gate of Beijing Normal University, planning to go back to the dormitory to wash clothes. Lin Feng told her that your clothes can be taken to my mansion and washed with the very high-end front-loading washing machine, but Tian Qingzu said no, I didn't have much clothes. Lin Feng also said, I might as well buy more clothes for you. Although your boyfriend, I am not a top rich man yet, I can spend 20,000 to 30,000 yuan to buy clothes for you. Just enough clothes to wear. I'm not a clothes rack, so I don't need to change different styles of clothes every day. For a girl who wants nothing materially, it takes effort to really do something for her. Tian Qingzu saw Zhou Bin, the monitor. She seemed a little embarrassed that there was a conflict a few days ago. Zhou Bin showed a bright smile, walked to her side and said, Qingzu, the past is over, I will not pester you in the future. You tell Lin Feng, let him not be angry, it was all my fault in the past. Understood. Tian Qingzu quickened his pace and walked away. Zhou Bin looked at her back with a look of unwillingness, but there was nothing he could do. Tian Qingzu was doomed to miss him. Even his father, who was a boss in a foreign country, told him to give up. He can only give up, no matter how extreme he is, he can't do it. At this time, the Fengnan fashion store was not as popular as the first few days of school, but Dinan was satisfied with the daily turnover because he could make money every day. Sitting on the edge of the cash register, looking at Lin Feng's face, Dinan smiled and said, I don't know if our two stores will expand in size next year. It's definitely possible we can consider opening a clothing store in the spring of next year, Lin Feng said. Also, if you really want to make money, I can find someone to help you do something more profitable. Let me go to work, get a good salary, and earn 100,000 or 200,000 a year, Dinan said. Almost so. You bastard, why do you hate it so much? Dinan's fan fist hit Lin Feng and said angrily, I don't want to go to work, I just want to be my own boss. That's okay, we will open a clothing store next year, and we will still be partners, Lin Feng said. Dinan instantly felt much happier than before. Lin Feng originally planned to accompany Dinan in the small shop this morning, admiring her beauty and savoring her fragrance. It was very pleasant, but just after 10 o'clock, he received a call from Sister Wang, asking him to play chess first. Then make 1,000 pieces of braised pork for him to eat. Thinking of the 1,000 pieces of braised pork that Sister Wang made, Lin Feng would drool, and he readily agreed. To be continued. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 469. More than an hour later, Lin Feng arrived at Ye Ziyi's private villa. Ye and Hongying were not there, only Sister Wang was there. This made him realize that it was a good time to flirt with this beautiful charm. It is always fun to tease Sister Wang, but it is also very risky to tease Sister Wang. If this charming woman is angry, she will complain to Ye Ziyi. When Miss Ye is in a good mood, she will naturally not blame him too much, but if she is in a bad mood, she may put it in front of him. Take out the gun. Lin Feng was sitting on the sofa drinking tea, and Sister Wang brought the chess pieces over. Her smile was a little charming when she played the chess. This charming woman is very charming when she smiles lightly, and even more charming when she smiles charmingly. Lin Feng obviously took it for granted, and the moment he leaned out, he kissed Sister Wang's face. Sister Wang's face sank immediately, and she said angrily, Aren't you going too far, you little bastard? You just sat on the sofa and ate my tofu within 10 minutes, so I'll call Ye Ziyi, who happens to be Ziyi. During this period of time, I lost millions of stocks, and I was in a bad mood, so she just let her take you out. A few million is nothing to Ye Ziyi at all. If it is spent on shopping, it will naturally be a drizzle, but losing money in stocks will definitely affect her mood to a certain extent. Seeing that Sister Wang really wanted to dial Yezi's number, Lin Feng immediately accompanied her smiling face, snatched Sister Wang's phone with a very gentle gesture, and said with a smile, "Hurry up and play chess, maybe I can win you a game today." Sister Wang's red lips twitched, obviously not believing that Lin Feng could win her a game. After a while, he smiled and said, "Play chess well, don't eat my tofu, when you can win 3 games in a row, you can eat my tofu." Lin Feng didn't know when he would be able to win 3 games in a row with Sister Wang. He took a step and said in his heart, "Sister Wang, if your wet body is very impulsive, you might as well let me have 3 games on purpose, so that you and I warm up also as steps down." Sister Wang has no intention of letting Lin Feng at all. It was a very sharp move in the beginning. If you are playing against a chess master, it's easy to lose in this way, but Lin Feng is not a master, and it is easy for Sister Wang to abuse him. As a result, Lin Feng lost the first set within 10 minutes. But he wasn't very depressed. Sister Wang is a master of chess. It was reasonable to lose to Sister Wang, he was used to it. The second set began, at the same time as the game. Lin Feng also admired Sister Wang's towering from time to time. He had stroked Sister Wang's pair of big round before, and he knew that the pair of babies were extremely soft and delicate. Lin Feng persisted for a few more minutes in this plate, but he still failed to persist for 15 minutes before losing. If it is a game of chess between masters, it is possible to play a game of chess for 2 or 3 hours. Both sides will be very cautious, and if they are not careful, they will leave opportunities for the other party. Lin Feng plans to devote himself wholeheartedly to the third set. If he can confront Sister Wang for an hour, it will be considered a big improvement. In the third set, he was really devoted, but he still lost in less than 20 minutes. Why can't I win this charming woman? It seems to be a very magical thing. It seems that no one has a higher score in the exam. In terms of Kung Fu, Lin Feng could win instantly, but he is unlikely to give Sister Wang a meal. Lin Feng lit a cigarette, looked at Sister Wang's beautiful face full of charm, and said with a smile, "Quickly make 1,000 pieces of braised pork." In Sister Wang's eyes, Lin Feng's appearance at this time was very cute, and she couldn't help laughing, but the light in those eyes was a bit seductive, as if she was a charming woman who was seducing Lin Feng. Lin Fengzin said, "Don't seduce me casually, I already want to eat your tofu, if you continue to look at me in that way, I will really pounce." Sister Wang obviously didn't hear what he was saying, and continued to look at him with that very seductive look. So this fierce man really pounced. "What are you doing, boy?" The moment her soft body was hugged, Sister Wang screamed, but Lin Feng's mouth was already kissed. Oh. An indistinct sound came from between Sister Wang's lips, maybe because she couldn't stand the stimulation that Lin Feng brought her, her lips finally opened. During the kiss, the two bodies were very close together, and Lin Feng's chest could clearly feel the outline of Sister Wang's towering breasts. But he didn't take off Sister Wang's chest photo, so as not to provoke the woman before she ate 1,000 pieces of braised pork. After about 10 minutes, Lin Feng finally let go of Sister Wang. After a short breath, Sister Wang began to look for her mobile phone. It seemed that she wanted to call Yezi to complain. Lin Feng grabbed Sister Wang's phone first, smiled smugly, and put it in his pocket. Sister Wang ran towards the landline and said in her heart, "You have installed my mobile phone, I don't believe you dare to unplug the phone line." Lin Feng didn't intend to unplug the phone line, but he embraced Sister Wang from behind, and his tallness also touched Sister Wang's body. A magical airflow began to rampage in Sister Wang's body, and her body struggled. At the same time, that contact is more real. "Let go of me." Sister Wang's tone softened significantly. "If you don't complain, I'll let you go." "I won't complain, I'll make 1,000 pieces of braised pork for you to eat," Sister Wang said. Only then did Lin Feng let go of her, and this charming woman did not continue to try to call Ye. Not really complaining. The Qianzhong braised pork was ready, and Sister Wang made 2 more refreshing vegetarian dishes, and then served with 2 cold dishes and a soup. By the dining table, Lin Feng said, "Is there any wine to drink?" "No. It's too boring, invite me over for dinner, not even wine," Lin Feng said depressedly. "I'm afraid you'll be a hooligan after drinking." "I promise not to be a hooligan." "Then I won't give you wine." Sister Wang was a little proud. "If you don't drink it, don't drink it. The wine cabinet in this villa is locked, even if Lin Feng faces the wine cabinet. Can't open either." After eating together, Lin Feng thought that Sister Wang would continue to play chess with him, but Sister Wang went upstairs and let him do whatever he wanted. Lin Feng planned to leave, but at this time, Ye and Hongying came. Hongying smiled and said, "Where's Sister Wang? Go upstairs. Did you annoy her by eating Sister Wang's tofu, so she ignored you?" These words were not said by Hongying, but by Ye, with a bit of anger in them. Obviously it is the emotion brought out by losing money in stocks. "No. Really not." Leaf's eyes sharpened. Step by step closer to Lin Feng, the pair of towering chests almost touched Lin Feng's body. The very high-end perfume exudes a very good smell, surrounding his entire body. "If you don't believe me, you can ask Sister Wang. See if I ate her tofu." "All right." Ye really ran upstairs to ask Sister Wang. She has already made up her mind. If Lin Feng really ate Sister Wang's tofu, she would clean up Lin Feng. Lin Feng was still a little worried, maybe Sister Wang would tell all the ambiguous situations. But Sister Wang didn't say anything, just smiled and shook her head. Hongying's eyes fell on Lin Feng's face. While Ye was not around, she said to Lin Feng, "Ye is very depressed, why don't you go and comfort her?" "How to comfort?" "You will." Red Shadow said. "I do not know." "Can you pee?" Hongying asked. "This will, but I can't pee on Yezi's body." A terrible thing happened, and Ye heard what Lin Feng said just now. After walking down the stairs, Ye walked towards Lin Feng with graceful steps. The smile on the corner of his mouth was a little blurred. "Who do you want to pee on?" "No, in fact, I was chatting with Hongying just now." "No need to explain, I don't care what you talked to Hongying just now, but the sentence I heard gave me the feeling that you want to pee on my body." Yezi's slender legs trembled slightly, and the smile on the corner of his mouth became more and more blurred. She said softly, "You're not too timid, say, where do you want to pee? Take out your thing, Miss Ben will never hide." "It's your business if you don't hide." "It's my business to take it out or not." Lin Feng said so in his heart, sat down on the sofa very depressed, lit a cigarette and started smoking. Hongying is really good, and she didn't mean to explain to Lin Feng at all, so she went upstairs to read. There were only 2 people left in the living room, Lin Feng and Yezi. Ye sat beside Lin Feng and twisted his arm. It was fragrant, but it also caused him pain. "Do you dare to pee on me?" "Dare? You? What's wrong with me? You forced me to sit here and see if I don't pee on you." Lin Feng got up and was about to take off his pants. Yezi screamed in fright, "Ah, you rascal, don't take off your pants at me. Is this afraid? You guys are really rascals sometimes." "Sit down and chat for a while," Yezi said. Lin Feng sat beside her and said with a smile, "What do you want to talk about? I asked you before, what kind of man is right for me, and I'm not too young. During this period of time, my father kept talking to me and asked me to find a boyfriend." "The right family can give you happiness," Lin Feng said. "It's easy to find the right family, and it's hard to find those who can give me happiness. No one knows who will become in the future. If you always think like this, I'm afraid it will be difficult to find a boyfriend. If you are still a first daughter, then you may still be a first daughter in a few years, Lin Feng said. Ye Ziyi's jade hand stretched out. It seemed that he wanted to give Lin Feng another shot, but Lin Feng took the opportunity to grab Ye Ziyi's hand. Ye twitched his hand, but instead of pulling it out, he simply let Lin Feng hold her tender and delicate hand. You kids suspect that I'm not a first daughter. I haven't been with you, so I don't know if you are still the first daughter, Lin Feng said. Let me try. Lin Feng's smile at this time is a bit evil. He doesn't tease Miss Ye often, but once it does, it's very enjoyable. You bastard. Ye struggled, kicking and biting at Lin Feng, but unfortunately, neither her mouth nor her legs could hurt Lin Feng. It would be really depressing if such a fierce man was restrained, and Ye, who was being molested at this time, was a little depressing. To be continued. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 470. After a few minutes, Ye Ziyi calmed down and asked how Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu were getting along. Lin Feng said that they had a good conversation. Ye even said that the beautiful bamboo's body is so graceful and clean, it must be very cool to do that. Lin Feng has not done it with the beautiful bamboo, but his answer is, very cool. If Ye continued to ask about details, he also planned to talk about it through fantasy, but Ye didn't seem to have the desire to ask about details. Maybe it was too much for Ye to ask the question just now. Lin Feng said, let's talk about serious things. You are someone who has seen big scenes, and you have a vision for many things that ordinary people can't expect. How many years do you think Black Rose will be sentenced? It's hard to say. The death penalty is definitely not possible, but it is possible to have a reprieve or indefinite death. What kind of treatment will it be depends on the way of the Black Rose. If she leaves enough for herself, she may be able to come out in a few years. If she didn't leave any way out for herself in the past, this time it will be more fortunate than fortunate. Even Ye couldn't explain it clearly, and Lin Feng couldn't think more clearly. He hoped that Black Rose would leave enough back for him. Lin Feng said, how's the Menfei Yang disco? It's sealed. What's next? It is estimated that someone will take over in a month. It is impossible for a profitable business to be closed all the time, Ye Ziyi said. Who will take over? This will only be known when the time comes, and I won't take over anyway. Ye has no interest in Menfei Yang disco, and at the same time, she has no plans to take over and let others take care of it. If she wants to make money, she has a way. Within a week, Baiman and Bing Chen were both released. The reason is very simple. Hey Rose took care of everything that was found out. There was no murder case, and there was no case of drug trafficking or smuggling. In this way, Baiman and Bing Chen are very clean. When it's clean enough, the police have no choice but to let people go. After Lin Feng got this news from Hong Ying, she really wanted to see Baiman right away, but when he called Baiman's cell phone, it was always turned off. Maybe at this time, she didn't want anyone who wanted to get in the way of Hey Rose to contact him. To her. Fengnan Fashion Store. Lin Feng's face was anxious and his eyes were erratic. Dainan, who was sitting next to him, finally spoke after hesitating for a few times, you must really want to meet Baiman. I really want to see her, because I really want to know what her plan will be next. Without the Black Rose tree, she must be very confused. If she still wants to stay in Beijing, I can find a friend to help her. But, I think Baiman is unlikely to stay in Beijing, maybe she has left Beijing now, Lin Feng said. You really haven't been with Baiman before? Not really, Lin Feng said. Why am I a little disbelieving? If you haven't seen her before, how can you be so obsessed with her? Because she has helped me before, although I don't have much contact with her, I regard her as a good friend, Lin Feng said. If Baiman has left Beijing, I'm afraid you and her will never meet in this life. It's quite possible. Many situations in this world are like this. It seems like a simple separation, but once separated, it may be a lifetime, and no one will see each other. Fortunately, everyone has a unique ability to adapt, and no one can work hard to live without dying. Even if they are suddenly thrown from a prosperous city to a war-torn country, they will try their best to break through the hail of bullets. Come alive. What Lin Feng can be sure of is that Baiman will not commit suicide because Black Rose is locked up, and she will definitely choose a new life for herself. As for Bing Chen, Lin Feng didn't care about her. Even if Bing Chen suddenly died, I'm afraid it wouldn't make any waves in his heart. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Lin Feng returned to the rented master bedroom from the store, opened the document and started coding, feeling a little confused. So the speed is not very fast. He really hoped that the phone suddenly rang, and when he looked for the call, he found out that it was Baiman. But until 5 o'clock in the afternoon, when he coded out 2-3,000 word chapters, the phone didn't ring. The modern communication device was very quiet, and there wasn't even a single harassing text message. Lin Feng was a little annoyed, but he was unlikely to throw his phone on the ground. If it broke, he had to buy a new one. He rarely did thankless things. After turning off the computer and leaning on the sofa, Lin Feng used his mobile phone to read the novel. After more than half an hour, his mobile phone really rang. It was a call from an unfamiliar landline number, belonging to Beijing. Lin Feng had a premonition and picked it up quickly. It turned out to be Baiman. The two had made an appointment to meet on a remote street. Almost 2 hours later, Lin Feng arrived at this remote street that he had never been to before. The surroundings were not prosperous but very lively. Most of the people living nearby were migrant workers, because the rent in this area was cheap. Lin Feng saw Baiman dressed casually and wearing wide-brimmed glasses. She looked like a traveler, which was very different from the previous style. Lin Feng immediately grabbed Baiman's hand. Baiman didn't resist at all, so he let Lin Feng hold her hand and walk together on this street with a lot of outsiders. How did you get here? Someone wants to cut off one of my legs. It's the person I offended by helping Black Rose before, but these have nothing to do with you. You are my friend. I have always been very interesting to my friends. If anyone wants to cut off your leg, I will cut off anyone's leg, but I usually don't need a knife to clean up people, Lin Feng said. I'm very satisfied with you just now. I'll leave Beijing tomorrow. As for where I'm going, it's hard to say. Maybe I'll go to another city first and then go abroad. I'm afraid I won't have the chance to meet in the future, Baiman said. Sounds bleak. But this is definitely not what a woman says when she is angry with a man, because after Baiman leaves, the two of them will most likely never see each other again. 5 years later. 10 years later. There is no chance to meet again, there is no contact, there is no news, and he completely disappears in each other's life. Do you think Miss Ye or Li Xingguo can cover you? Lin Feng said. It's hard to tell, Li Xingguo, but Ye can definitely cover me. But I don't want her to cover me, and I don't want to cause you any trouble. I'd better leave. I'm not afraid of trouble, Lin Feng said. Take it as if I don't want to stay in the city. I want to change the environment and start a new life. Baiman is very serious. All right. Lin Feng would not force Baiman to stay in the city. Because this is not necessarily a good thing for Baiman. If I can, I'd like to spend a night at your mansion and leave tomorrow. No problem. Lin Feng and Baiman went to a very humble hotel together, took Baiman's simple luggage, and then took a taxi to his mansion. Sitting on the soft velvet sofa, Baiman's smile became much more relaxed, as if nothing happened to her. She said, "You finally have a family in Beijing. I am very happy for you to learn that you have bought a mansion. In fact, the boss of Black Rose is also very happy for you." At that time, Hey Rose seemed very excited and patted her thigh and said. This kid Lin Feng is really good, he can buy a house with empty gloves and a white wolf. I don't know what means he used to make Yezi I loan him 10 million. Don't say it. Lin Feng's heart is very uncomfortable. In fact, he hopes that Hey Rose has always been a person that he hates very much. When he knew that Hey Rose fell in love with him, Hey Rose had already been arrested. No matter what Black Rose had done to others and to him before, this result made him miserable. Black Rose loves you. I love you more than me. Once she woke up from a dream calling your name. I happened to be sleeping with her in the same bed. I asked her, boss, what's the matter? She said, dream when Lin Feng was chased and killed, he said he would send someone to save you. Bai Man said. Lin Feng burst into tears. He shed tears when Black Rose tortured him to such an extent that he was afraid that he would not be able to live in the city. Now he was crying again. Because the woman who always tormented him before loved him so much and cared about him so much. You are a caring person, that's why you cry. How many years will Black Rose be sentenced to? If no one makes a bad move during this time, I estimate it will be 5 years. Bai Man said. 5 years are great. Because for Black Rose, a 5-year sentence is an absolute light sentence. And after coming out 5 years later, she is not yet 40 years old, and she still has a lot of good times. Black Rose is still very virtuous. Do you think I am Hey Rose's confidant or Bing Chen is Hey Rose's confidant? Bai Man said. I thought it was Bing Chen before, but now it looks like it's you. That's right, it's me. There are many capable people around Black Rose, so naturally I won't be the most powerful. In terms of means, Sirius and Bing Chen are both taller than me, but Black Rose trusts me the most. I even thought that Black Rose suspected you because of your relationship with me. Now it seems that I was very wrong. Lin Feng said. Black Rose never doubted me, of course, neither Sirius nor Bing Chen betrayed Black Rose. Black Rose is very smart, she has left enough back for herself, otherwise she will be doomed this time. Lin Feng said. Because she is kind. What did you say? I said Hey Rose is kind, are you surprised? Although she is a gangster, she anonymously donated more than 30 million to the Poor Children's Foundation in Huaxia, and more than 20 million to different disaster areas. It's more than 50 million, which is not something ordinary people can do. Baiman paused for a moment and said, Black Rose is afraid that people in the circle will laugh at her, so she has never mentioned many anonymous donations to others, and only I know alone, and I have already explained all these circumstances to the police, and although the donation is anonymous, the amount is relatively large, so it is easy to verify. With these more than 50 million as amulets, the possibility of Black Rose being lightly sentenced is extremely high. Lin Feng even hopes that Black Rose will be released in the first half of the year, but this possibility is indeed very small. Angel or devil? Lin Feng couldn't tell the difference, but he really regarded Black Rose as a friend in his heart, and he was a very iron friend. In the past, Hey Rose asked him to call him Sister Hey, but he was not convinced, but now he really wanted to call him out in front of Hey Rose, Miss Hey, because Hey Rose is older than him, and her virtues are hot and different, so she can be worthy of him as sister. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my greatest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 471. Let's take a shower together. This is what Baiman proposed. Lin Feng was stunned for a moment before he reacted, and smiled relievedly. I think we should stop being ambiguous. You will leave tomorrow. If today is too ambiguous, I am afraid I will miss you more. Baiman threw himself into Lin Feng's arms very hard, the pair of towering chests squeezed his body hard, and the raised lips blew a fragrance into his face. I just want to make you miss me. I can disappear from your life, but I don't want my image to disappear from your mind, preferably when you're an 80-something boy and still remember me. Lin Feng burst into tears again. He picked up Baiman and went to the bathroom together. He took off Baiman's casual clothes and saw a large area of white and delicate skin. It smelled very fragrant and tasted even more fragrant. Baiman personally took off Lin Feng's clothes and his trousers, and saw his proud and tall. I'm afraid you can't help but think of me the moment you see me. But I still held back, because I haven't you before, Lin Feng said. So you can be very me, you can use all your energy on me, and if you say goodbye, the world is boundless, and I'm afraid you will never see me again in this life. If suddenly one day, I see you selling pancakes in another city, I'll buy them together with a pancake truck, Lin Feng said. I understand what you mean, you are reminding me to do some business, just enough to support myself, you don't have to stay on the road all the time, right, Baiman said. Lin Feng nodded. He was teasing Baiman's moist softness, but his heart was very uncomfortable. Today, he has shed tears twice. He didn't know if he would cry a third time. They sat in the surfing tub together, teasing each other's bodies, very ambiguous and moist. While breathing, Baiman's eyes were wet, but her tears never flowed. Lin Feng couldn't bear to break into Baiman's body in the bathroom. He carried the naked Baiman to the bedroom on the second floor, and crawled onto the soft bed before breaking into Baiman's body. Baiman is still a first-time daughter. This is Baiman's first time. So she was in pain, and the tears that had reached saturation in the bathroom finally flowed out, but she didn't cry out. Rippling gently like a chun wave. Just now Baiman said that he could use all his energy, but after breaking into Baiman's body, Lin Feng was reluctant to exert himself. So soothing and sweet. This wonderful rippling lasted almost 2 hours. Although it was the first time for Baiman, she had a rare pleasure. The smell was very strange and exciting, and it made her cry out happily. It was destined to be a sleepless night. First, Baiman talked about her past stories, and then Lin Feng talked about his past stories. The two fiery bodies were always close together. When Lin Feng's hand moved slightly, Baiman would grab his hand and press it to her chest. In the early morning, he scored twice, Lin Feng exerted a lot of force, and Baiman got pleasure again from the pain. Baiman didn't plan to have breakfast with Lin Feng. He was about to leave. Lin Feng finally asked the exit, "Could you not leave?" Baiman's answer is very straightforward, "No. Baiman is gone. I didn't let Lin Feng send her. Lin Feng doesn't know where Baiman will go, and he doesn't know if he will have a chance to meet Baiman again in this life." Lin Feng returned to the rented master bedroom before 8 o'clock in the morning. Dinan had already woken up and was about to go out for breakfast and take care of the store. Seeing that Lin Feng came back with a bit of exhaustion, Dinan joked, "I tried Baiman's body last night, didn't you exhaust you? Baiman is gone. Where did you go? Guangzhou or Sanya?" "Do not know. She didn't tell you." "How can she tell me if she doesn't even know where she is going?" Lin Feng sat on the sofa in the master bedroom, and Dinan sat beside him. "You can write Baiman into your novel. It was written some time ago, and Baiman asked me to write it, but my fictional plot and Baiman's real life are completely different," Lin Feng said. "Baiman lives such a life. In Baiman's heart, it is such a kind of life that he fantasizes about." "What does Baiman's fantasy life look like?" "Simple sunshine," Lin Feng said. These 4 words made Dinan silent for a long time. Dinan went to the store. Lin Feng lay on the bed, probably because he didn't sleep all night last night. He soon entered the dream. He dreamed that Baiman got on the train and went to a very far and beautiful place. It was almost noon when he woke up. Lin Feng washed his face and walked to the street. "I called Dinan first, and then took the food to the store." Tian Qingzu was also there. After having dinner together, Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu left the store. The beautiful Bamboo wanted to see the 3D blockbuster that was being shown, and Lin Feng accompanied her. The pure and beautiful Tian Qingzu is easy to cause a sensation wherever she goes, so when she and Lin Feng appeared together in a high-end movie theater, it immediately caused a strong sensation. There are dozens of girls around, some are students, some are office workers, some are mixed society, and maybe some are rich ladies, but Tian Qingzu is the most dazzling. That girl is so pretty. The face is so beautiful and the body is so good, you can instantly compare the first-line beauty stars to ashes. That man is too beautiful. Could it be that he is a top rich man, and he can actually hook up with such a superb beauty? Some people are about to drool. Some people are about to have nosebleeds. One of them was about the same age as Lin Feng, and the greedy eyes of a handsome and tall man caught his mind the most. Lin Feng even wanted to gouge out the boy's eyes, then threw the eyeballs on the ground and stepped on his feet. Fortunately, Lin Feng is a master of Kung Fu, so he is very confident to protect Tian Qingzu, otherwise, he would have to take her with him immediately. After all, with such a superb beauty, no matter where he wanders, the risk factor is very high. There are not a few people in this world who coveted beautiful women and liked to destroy flowers. Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu were sitting in the third row of the number 6 screening room. The man with greedy eyes was sitting in the 5th row, and Tian Qingzu's profile could be seen from his direction. So that nasty guy like a never wore 3D glasses to watch movies, and was greedily admiring Tian Qingzu's profile and back. Lin Feng expected it and left the cinema. That kid will definitely make trouble, but it's nothing. Baiman's departure made him very angry. He was about to find someone to beat him like a sandbag. More than 2 hours later, Lin Feng and Tian Qingzu left the screening room, and the tall and straight handsome guy walked beside Tian Qingzu. From time to time, he looked at her with wicked eyes. This kind of evil eye has a powerful lethal power on some naive girls. The so-called situation where I fall in love with you just because of one look of yours happens from time to time, although that kind of love is not real love, it can only be all of a sudden, I want to have with each other. Tian Qingzu's mind is very mature, even if the man beside him is twice as handsome, even if his eyes are twice as evil and charming. She will also be unmoved. After walking out of the cinema, Lin Feng stopped and pulled Tian Qingzu's hand, and Tian Qingzu's footsteps also stopped. The tall and handsome guy also stopped, still looking at Tian Qingzu with evil eyes. Beauty, we seem to have met before. Before Tian Qingzu could say anything, there was a bang. Lin Feng's fist landed on the tall handsome guy's face with great force. This punch was incredible, it actually broke the tall and handsome guy's nose bone. The moment the blood spurted out, the tall and handsome guy flew out, and Lin Feng kicked him again, one kicked his face, and the other kicked his thing. The tall and handsome guy with blood on his face wailed in pain. Even if he wanted to be evil and charming, he couldn't get up, and everyone around was frightened, and some were stunned. Some exclaimed, and some wanted to report NG. Lin Feng took Tian Qingzu and quickly escaped from the land of right and wrong, took a taxi and left, changed 3 taxis along the way, and circled around the ring road. Finally arrived near the front door of Beijing Normal University. Knowing what happened, Dinan was very worried. My God, something happened after watching a movie. Will the NG inspector come over? It is estimated that it is unlikely that the NG inspector will find it, but the backstage of that hateful guy is very likely to find it. I can see that the boy is not simple, at least he is a rich second generation, Lin Feng said. Then what are you going to do? Cold Lin Feng said. When Lin Feng and Dinan were talking, Tian Qingzu's tears flowed out, and he said with a weeping voice, I'm sorry, Brother Feng, I've caused you trouble again. I didn't blame you at first. What do you feel guilty about? Since I am your boyfriend, it is my duty to protect you. No matter who wants to bully you, they must pass me first, Lin Feng said. Tian Qingzu was very moved, and immediately threw himself into Lin Feng's arms. Dainan admired Lin Feng very much, and said in his heart, "Lin Feng, you are a big boy. You are usually very low-key, but when it comes to the critical moment, you are more ruthless than others. You should endure it. To be ruthless is to be ruthless." Lin Feng understood this principle when he was in the second year of junior high school. He has always done this from middle school to university, from university to society. It's just that after arriving in Beijing, his peach blossom luck was really fierce, so fierce that he couldn't believe it. But the stories of having with beauties again and again are true, and it is also true to have with beauties graceful and plump bodies again and again. It is said that the handsome guy Lin Feng beat is indeed a person with a great background. It is Wang Le, the younger brother of Wang Shan, the beautiful chairman of Wang Group. At that time, someone wanted to report NG, but Wang Le, who was bleeding and in pain, shouted, "Whoever reported NG urinated on his face." Hearing this, the people who wanted to save the wicked with good intentions immediately gave up on him. The broken bridge of the nose is yours, and the blood that flows out is also yours. If you love to die, you will die, and if you love to live, you will live. Soon someone came, not a 110 nor a 120, but a Hummer H2. 3 people got out of the car, including Wang Li's sister Wang Shan, a handsome man who looked like a gentleman, and another person. Appears to be the driver. Not bothering to ask too much, he quickly carried Wang Le onto the Hummer H2 and sent him to the nearest hospital. The broken bridge of the nose must be a minor operation. When Wang Le had the operation, his sister Wang Shan and brother-in-law He Wentao began to check the details of the young man and woman.